Hi, I'm Kiwi.
And I'm Jarad.
And we are the two gentlemen, coming to you from the cold.
Very cold. Very cold. I'm wearing long pants.
So Jarad and I started this podcast roughly this time last year, and he came over in shorts and thongs. And it's the beginning of winter. We're definitely in winter, Jarad.
I don't know, I'm feeling the cold more this year. I don't know if it's an old age thing or maybe it is just really cold at the moment. But I'm sure, I mean, look, there's a lot colder places in the world. But
Definitely. I'm actually wearing a robe, I've got gloves on, a beanie, and I've brought down a hot water bottle with me. We're in the garage. And I'm warm. It's good. Toasty.
You do look warm. He actually asked me, he sent me a message to see if I wanted a hot water bottle. And I was like, I think I'm good. I'll just work with my inner hot water bottle.
And you know what? That was Erica. She's that thoughtful. She's like, you've got to give Jarad one. Don't even ask him. And I was like, I've got to ask him.
Nah, she's good. She's good.
Yeah, she's amazing. So Jarad, how are you?
Yeah, well, I had the last couple of days. I've had I'll admit something. I don't mind a quick puzzle, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I know you're all jealous about my party lifestyle, about how hard I'm puzzling lately. But yeah, I got into it during COVID, and now every time I see a sort of cheap one, I grab it. But maybe this is the problem; they're cheap. The last two have been missing a piece.
Whoa.
Yeah, so 999 pieces.
No.
Yeah, and you get right to the end, and you're like, come on. And I looked everywhere, and I can't. Last two, literally.
Wow.
It's almost going to give it up.
So how long does it take you to solve a 1,000 piece or 999 piece puzzle?
They did well. I had one that was like the Titanic, so that was hard because a lot of sky and a lot of black boat, you know. So it was just all. But then I just finished one which was like album posters, like of 70s and 80s bands, and it was all different colours, so I smashed that.
Okay, and what do you mean by smash that? Is that like a week?
A day.
Oh, well,
yeah,
okay.
probably yesterday, and I finished it just before I came over.
Jeez.
Yeah, I smashed it. I just put my head down and just did it. Like, it's probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I didn't have much going on the last couple of days.
That's amazing.
But the Titanic one was over a week. That was a decent one. But yeah, kind of sucked finishing it with a hole there. Yeah, but anyway.
Good on you, Jarad.
But other than that, I'm good. I'm all good. First world problems, mate. First world problems. What about yourself?
I'm really well. I just wanted to let everyone know that I actually hung out with Jarad socially the other night with another person in company.
I know.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. Really
good. It was
good.
like a mini high school reunion.
Yep.
Just the three of us watching State of Origin. New South Wales lost, of course, but that didn't spoil the night.
No.
I was quite surreal, actually, showing up and seeing you and this other friend in the same room. It'd been that long.
Yeah, you voiced it. You were like, oh, it was really weird. Like, really weird. Because, like, I think we've said this in the past, you know, it's been years and years and years that we've both known this particular person, but we haven't actually hung out in the same space.
No.
And I see him quite regularly, and I think you see him quite regularly, but it's just a weird sort of thing. But, you know, this is one thing this podcast has done. It's opened up, you know, our friendship. So, you know, these sort of things will happen more often.
Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to more of these.
Yeah, so it's something that will be, it just happens naturally now, I think. You know, I think, like any other, I guess, friendship that you I'm not going to say fizzle out, I guess.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. I mean, you're always friends, but you know, it's hard to make that first phone call. Like, hey, do you want to come watch the football? And you'd be like, I haven't seen you for 6 years. But now it's not an issue. So.
Well, that's actually the second football game we've watched together this year.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
How cool is that?
You know, the thing about catching up with old school friends is that you have certain memories of a person. Mm. And for example, if you were the kid that, I don't know, pooed their pants at a certain time, you'd be like, hey, that's Kiwi, the guy that pooed his pants, right?
Yeah.
And people remember you for that. You know, it characterizes you.
An incident.
Yeah, exactly. An incident. And it got me thinking about how we judge a person after any sort of scandal or incident like that.
Yeah.
You know, how it defines them in a way. I don't think that's fair. But I guess I just wanted to bring up this topic, Jarad. Being, 40-something-year-old people who've met people over the course of our lives.
Yeah.
What stands out about them? Well, sometimes it's something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I mean, obviously, the more... I mean, public you are, I guess you've got to be really careful. But if we're going to talk about just the regular people, we all make mistakes. We all do something stupid. We all, if we had our time again, I'm not talking massive mistakes, but just, like we all take the wrong corner or do this and do that. Like you don't want to be that's the guy that always gets lost, and I don't know, like it is unfair because, if you make an error, whether it be little or big, everyone deserves, to sort of, not be judged by it.
Yeah. I remember talking to somebody about this who was much younger than us. And, I think she may have done things that she might have regretted in her youth. Mm. And I suggested that we have a statute of limitations on this sort of thing. Because,
I like it.
After a certain amount of time, it shouldn't matter. You're a different person. You've shed skin.
Yeah.
Literally, you've shed your skin.
Yeah, yeah. And you've experienced lots since that point. And, there should definitely, I reckon, 6 weeks. No.
Well, look, it depends on the thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you can't hold something over somebody's head for 6 weeks if it's a minor indiscretion.
Yeah, right.
But if it's something like a serious crime, well, it could be a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose it's a matter of serving your time, in general. Like people, if you break the law, you get punished and you serve your time. I mean, if you do a silly little mistake that's got nothing to do with law, but it's just, something stupid, someone's going to say, okay, you know what? That's a 3-week punishment. But I don't know. I do like the idea of a limitation thing there where you can just forget about it. So Kiwi, speaking of that, do you have anything that you might have been unfairly judged on, or something that someone's made a decision about you in the past?
I can't say I've been unfairly judged. I think people have probably overestimated me more than I think that's a bit unfair. I actually remember once I made this break off the kickoff. I got the ball, did a show and go, went through, and I remember our coach going, "Kiwi, that's what you're supposed to do." And I was thinking, "Yeah, I know, but I can't do it." But what do you think I am?
Oh man.
Yeah. So look, for me, I feel like people probably have higher expectations. Like, when we started this podcast, you're like, Kiwi, so how did you turn out to be such a loser? Like, where did you think my life was going, Jarad? There was this one time I was at one of the Westfields somewhere.
Yeah.
And I did the wrong thing, right? I had a shopping trolley, loaded up my car, and I was like, I'll just leave the trolley here. And the lady next to me called me out on it.
Really?
Yeah. And she said to me, "Excuse me, you can't just leave your trolley there. That could just run off and hit my car." I said, "I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I've done the wrong thing. Sorry."
Yeah.
And I felt very shamed. Well, not shamed by her, but I felt ashamed personally. And I, took the trolley back, put it in the trolley bay where it's supposed to go, as a responsible citizen should put it, not like what I was doing. And then I got in my car and drove away, and I thought, she must have thought I was this, little entitled brat, or lazy, or just, selfish, or whatever. I thought, that's not who I am, is it? But that's what I did. That's what my actions conveyed, that I was that sort of person. So it would be easy for someone to judge you on that. And I'm not sure about this, but I think I may have worked with her. She looked really familiar.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just thinking,
now that's
she might have put 2 and 2 together and think, oh, that's that guy. Oh, yeah, I'll keep an eye on him next time I'm working with him.
Yeah, right.
And I thought, oh, wow, I really gave a bad account of myself. I felt really bad about it.
See, that's a tough one too, like that shopping trolley there. It's not illegal to leave it there because you're within the confines of the shops.
Yeah,
but it's immoral.
But it is. It's dangerous. Yeah, it's unethical.
Yeah. It's unethical. Yeah.
I've actually done it before where I didn't leave it. I was loading my car and the trolley ran off.
Yeah.
This is at Chatswood, Westfield.
Yeah.
And it's unethical. And another time, it's really dangerous because I was at Chatswood, Westfield, and I was unloading a trolley, and it rolled away.
Yeah.
And there's always cars going past, and that's going to crash into a car. Not a single car went past at the time, so I just got lucky.
It was just like a lucky.
But I would have, been up for a fair bit of money there.
Yeah.
Shopping trolley crashing into someone's car.
Hopefully insurance.
So
kicks in there. But yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. How do you get insurance cover for that? It was a trolley. It wasn't my car doing it.
It's the shop's fault. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. So yeah, we all actually have moments where we get judged daily. I think the ones that drive anyway. Yeah. Like you think about all the little decisions you make, and you go, "Oh, you know what? I just shouldn't have gone out. That I shouldn't have cut that." Like you don't mean to cut people off, or of course, that's what they call accidents. I mean, we're talking about an accident, but I'm just talking daily driving. Like I think on a daily, you do something where that would inconvenience that person, they judge you.
Yeah.
They think they'd swear, and you see them in the video, you're like, oh, and it could be just something like, just stopping too soon, or something really minor, and people will judge you on that. And they people don't know you.
Yeah.
Well, they might not know you, but they might be passing, like we've discussed before. Like they're like, I know that guy. That guy that drives that car.
Exactly. And you drive a particular kind of car as well. You drive a big ute.
Yeah.
And if you did something wrong, people would probably go, oh yeah, this big, just because he drives a car like that, he's entitled and thinks he can push us around.
It's further from the truth.
That's right.
If anything, it was an error in my judgment, or this to whatever. But, because when you're driving, you're making a split-second decision. And, we're all trained to drive, and we've all had experience driving. So those split-second decisions should be good. But, there's the odd time where you just get a little bit off, or you miss the accelerator, or you miss the brake, or, and you're like, oh, that was a close call, or, because that happens all the time. But, yeah, anyway, that's I suppose that's being judged.
Speaking of doing the wrong thing when driving, I remember this when we were about 18 or 19, Jarad.
Mm.
We were heading to someone's party, and you were turning right. We're in your old V8 Commodore.
Yep.
Right? Big white Commodore, like a VL or something like that.
Yeah, I wish I kept it, by the way. It's worth a fortune now. Anyway.
Probably. And you didn't move at the lights.
Yeah.
And then you looked up and thought, oh, crap. And you went through, and the car behind you couldn't go through.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Now, I don't know what the guy behind you was thinking.
Yeah.
But they didn't beep you.
No.
And let's look at why they didn't beep you. The car.
Yeah.
They probably saw your outline.
And the guy in the passengers. No.
Exactly. That's that Kiwi guy.
Yeah. The guy in the trolleys. No.
But they wouldn't have judged you. They were, not
paying attention.
Yeah. Exactly. Thinks he can do whatever he wants on the roads.
Look at him with that big V8.
Yeah, exactly. Again, couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah. I don't remember that, but
God, and that's the worst. When you come across as rude, like another time, I've already shared that one where I was in line at Aldi and I was, had the headphones in. So I won't go over that story. But this one time, we went to Perth with the same guy that you went to Perth with, who we watched State of Origin with the other night.
Yeah.
And another friend from football. And, when they take the seatbelt sign off after you've taken off and you can use the toilet.
Yes.
I got up to use the bathroom and the air hostess told me to wait. And I was like, okay. So I waited. And then another one said I could go. So I went to go. Yeah. And then the other one, she was like, no, I told you to wait. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember when I got off the plane, she just, just gave me this stern look, or, she was very cold towards me.
Yeah.
I thought, so she just thought I was this rude guy on the plane, but I just got mixed messages. And, there's no worse feeling when you can't do anything about it. I couldn't ring her up and just go, hey,
that was a total accident.
I just want to let you know that's not who I am. Can I take you out for a drink or something? Get to know each other? I mean, of course you're not going to go that far. So I just, for the rest of my life, in her memory, I will just be that rude little guy on the plane.
That's like first impressions,
that's right.
Like that's why people freak out, or you got to get them right, because there's been times you just go, man, what did I say? Like sometimes I don't even say English. Someone will, you'll say hello to someone, or you'll nod, and you're like, I must have looked like a total dweeb. What was I doing? And that impression is there, and people can judge you on that. That's forever.
That's it. Yep.
That's there.
That's you. That's that guy. You're that guy that does that.
No matter what you do to try and get that back, you're still that guy that did that. And it's we've all had it. Everyone listening to this, both of us, all of our family, everybody have done something that, just little that they regret, or not regret, but
oh, definitely, I regret all those things. Jeez, I should have put that trolley back. All right, so you do these things, Jarad.
Yeah.
How do we make up for it? What do we do to move on?
Well, you can't dwell on it. Because like you said, you can't ring that air hostess up and go, hey, just want to have a chat. I'll let you know I'm not a rude little guy. You know, like...
Well, I am little, but I'm not that rude.
Not that rude, you know. But, you know, you can't do anything about it, really. We can't. Like, and if that for some reason you run into that person again and you just don't bring it up, like you just look weird. Like,
yeah, of course.
You know, like
they'd be like, they wouldn't even remember.
They'd be like, what are you talking about? You know, so don't lose sleep on it. Because these are little things, right? I
know, but still, I genuinely care. Like, I don't care what people think of me as in terms of my overall life. Like, if you really know me and you don't like me, that's okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. But if you get the wrong impression, if I've given the wrong impression, then I feel bad.
Yeah,
that's
all. I hear you. I do, and I do understand it because I feel bad too. But what can you do? What can you do? You're only going to hurt yourself.
I know. I guess the silver lining out of this is that you and I both have high standards. You know, we actually care. We care about other people. We don't want other people feeling that there's, you know, such rude people walking around in society amongst us, you know?
And maybe that's enough for us to know that we try and do our best. You know, like if you do make an error on the road that causes someone to stay an extra set of lights, or you do make an error that makes people think that, look at this guy driving his big ute, you know, like it's inevitable too. Like you can't control other people's thoughts too. You can't control how they see things. Like, you might do something that reminds them of something that happened that was not so great, and it's got nothing. You know, how do you know that? You know, so the deeper you dig, you're not going to. There's going to be more and more that you worry about.
I know.
So don't dig.
You know, I kind of feel like I'm on a bit of a roll. Like this is like a confessional for me or something. This episode. And
talk to me, son.
Two memories just popped into my head.
Yeah.
As you know, as we were talking about all this stuff. One was when one of my eldest son was really young, and we're at a shopping centre. And he had a tennis ball, and he just rolled it down the travelator. And there were two old ladies down the end. And like they could have stepped on the ball.
Yeah.
And I was mortified. They just kind of looked at the ball go past, and they were okay with it. But I was like, because you know, one of our friends. He doesn't like kids that do stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, how can, you know, parents let kids go out of control like that? And I was like, oh man, I was that guy that time, you know? And, you know, my son knew better, I think, but, you know, kids will be kids, and that's what happened.
Sorry, you go ahead. I've got a confession too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was waiting for your confessions, God. It's just me being the sinner here. But I just want to share my worst one of all. And this is terrible. Okay, like seriously, this is so bad. So I was on a sleepover shift at work, and it happened to be on the night of the semi-final of the men's US Open.
Yeah.
So it was Federer versus Djokovic back in 2008. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Federer fan. Yeah. Federer hadn't won a slam that year, and he was playing against the guy who'd beaten him in the semi-finals of the Australian Open, the other hardcourt slam.
Yeah.
So I stayed up for it.
Yeah.
And Federer won. You know, he also won the tournament. That was actually the last US Open he won. And I was exhausted the next day. And this is in Freshwater. And I was going to see my parents the next day after the sleepover. So I drove from Freshwater to Blacktown. And actually fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's probably the worst thing I've ever done on the road.
Yeah.
And I've actually had accidents. So trust me, this is the worst thing. Because
when, you
know, I would have killed someone.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, on the M2, I didn't bump into anyone.
Yeah.
I drifted from the left lane to the right lane without bumping into anyone. The divider woke me up.
Far out.
Not the actual concrete divider, but just, the reflectors on the road.
Stuff,
that woke me up. Snapped out of it, and I was driving home, slapping myself in the face to stay awake.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to pull over at the time. That's easily the worst thing I've done on the road. And I would have been on the news as that guy that killed someone.
Yeah.
Because I would have.
Yeah.
Some innocent person driving past, I would have killed them. So that's why I don't judge anyone on the road when they do something. I'm like, I've done worse.
Yeah. That's
the truth.
Everyone's taken a calculated risk, and it's bad. You know, when you think about what could have happened. And I'm glad you had that experience to not only just wake you up, literally, but what's woken you up. You will never do that again.
No.
You know, and you will pass that on to your family, your kids.
Yep.
So we use the surface area of that mistake.
Yes.
Will has gone through to, me now. And, hopefully people listening, but also it's gone through to your family. Yep. You've told them the story. they're like, you know what, we won't do that sort of thing because that can happen, you know.
And I'm so ashamed of that incident.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, thanks for sharing that. I
Yeah,
know it would have been tough.
Oh, look, you know, I just wanted to let our audience know how human we are. You know, that's part of our show, that you and I have never tried to pass ourselves off as anything but two ordinary guys from Blacktown. That's all we are. That's all I'll ever be. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not going.
But Jared, you said you were going to confess something.
Now it's quite minute. I remember I was like in year 4. I've never told anyone this, so this is...
Now you're telling everyone.
I was in year 4, and I was walking through the school, and I must have been dragging my feet, and I've, not intentionally, but I've somehow kicked a rock, like just, and it really took off. Like just in my normal stride of walk, I think I've just kicked the ground, and at that time there was a rock there, probably the size of a, 10, 20 cent piece, and it flew. I think, like, at the time, it felt like it flew 50 meters, but I obviously didn't.
Yeah.
I was only year 4, only like 7, 9, or I don't know. And it hit a teacher in the back of the leg. And I remember, like, a split second going, like, I was a good kid, right? I didn't get in trouble. Yeah. Like, I'm going to get in so much trouble. How am I going to explain this? And I remember grabbing her leg and then going, oh, like, nothing, didn't knock her over or anything. It was almost like, a mozzie bite, essentially. Yeah. But I remember having so much guilt for weeks and weeks and weeks because I just looked down and I walked. Because, like, they started looking around going, who's this kid? Or how did I get hit by a rock? And because I wasn't in a throwing motion or a kicking motion or anything, no one really knew. Like, because it was a pure accident. But I remember the guilt I had as a kid.
Yeah.
And I never told anybody. And I obviously just got over it now. But... That was an incident that I was like, oh, wow. Like, I could get in trouble. My parents going to think. All that sort of stuff. I've been, and then I was worried about everything. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my confession. I shouldn't have dragged my feet.
But you know what? No one was there to judge you over the incident. You weren't seen. But I love the fact that it's really coming down to you judging yourself, isn't it?
It was the judgment of myself, like, for not owning up to it. And, and it was minute, like literally, like it was like I said, it was like a mozzie bite, but just, for me, it was more, I'd hurt someone and I didn't own up, or I didn't,
so that was about your character. But the great thing there is it shows your moral compass. Even at that age, you knew what the right thing to do was. Yeah. But it shows how hard it is to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Really, for you to walk across there and go, excuse me, miss, I accidentally kicked a rock and it hit you in the leg. Are you okay? Yeah. That's a huge deal for someone.
Yeah. And right now I would do that. Right now, if that happened, you would go and see some, but as a kid, like I didn't know what to do. Yeah. I didn't have the experience to know how to deal with it. Yeah.
And again, that's something that we should be training kids. I've talked about it before on this show that I do verbal sparring with my son to prepare him for different things. For example, I pretend to be his work supervisor and I yell at him for putting something in the wrong spot and he's got to tell me, stop, I don't like being spoken to like that. Little things like that. And I think that's something we should be practicing as well, really. When we are in the wrong, how do we approach it? How do we talk to somebody? How do you knock on someone's door and say, oh, I accidentally broke your window. That was me yesterday. I'm really sorry about that. I left a note. I don't know if you got it. Just little things like that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to do that as an adult.
Huge.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. How many adults do you know that can't say sorry?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's another episode. I don't want to be that. No, I don't want to be that sort of like, this annoys me sort of guy. But yeah, there is a lot of like customer service lately has changed. Like, it's gone crazy. Like, I remember doing drive-through, and I don't even know if I said this, going through drive-through, picking up something for the girls, and they got the order wrong. So I went back in to the shop. Not one sorry. Like, yeah. And that was one thing. But then we went out to dinner and we were in a booth situation, and so our food actually got given to the table behind. And instead of like coming up and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," they just went, "Oh, right," and grabbed it and then just threw it back on our table. Didn't even, like, we could see, what they did. It was like, is that normal?
Yeah.
like the food didn't get touched by anyone, but we're in the COVID days, like we're all worried about germs and stuff. And I was like, you didn't even say we're right here, like literally like back to back with these people. And we heard them. Oh, that's not our food. Oh, right, and then just threw it out there. Not even a sorry, or not even like, hey, this happened. Maybe Anyway, so that's sorry. I'm now going into a rant.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And so no, people can't say there's a big issue with people saying sorry, and I think it's more prevalent today.
I guess we don't want to be accountable for some things.
Yeah. It's probably trained into us.
Yeah, and
don't say sorry, just try and fix it. I don't know.
Well, look at our leaders. Do they ever apologise? These politicians.
No.
And I think a lot of organisations tell people don't apologise because it might show some sort of guilt.
Yes.
And we might get sued. You never know.
100%. As soon as you apologise, you're saying you're guilty. I actually apologise too much. So somebody came around the corner, 100 miles an hour in Woolworths today with their trolley, and like my little one was next to me, not in the wrong. And then and I'm like, oh, watch where you going? Like, and then I said sorry to the person who was out of control with their trolley, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm actually overcompensating for this person who doesn't care about me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that person there, I judge that person because they're pushing their trolley fast.
Yeah.
Look at them out of control. They might have been in a rush. They might have been, they may have to have, who knows? But I was like, oh, look at that. Didn't care about my kid.
Yeah.
Like,
and that straight away you put that judgment on them.
Yeah.
And you don't know what was going through their head at the time.
No, they could have been someone at home desperately needing something from the shops. But yeah, don't know whether it had a trolley, but whatever.
Look, I judged someone today.
Yep.
I know we're getting towards the end of the episode. It's been a bit of a hodgepodge, actually. We talked about all sorts of things, but it's a bit of a confessional, and now we're talking about judging people. But so I saw something on the internet today, and I normally don't react too much to these things, but this happened in Sydney. Yeah. So it was kind of like, oh, this is, my home ground. What's going on here?
Yeah. Well,
better, put on my morality cap.
Yeah. Judge it.
And it was this guy, there was no audio, but he was getting coffee, and he threw the coffee at the barista.
Right.
Now, this has gone viral. So today's the 10th of June. So I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about who listen to this. Did you see the footage?
I actually haven't. No,
okay. But this guy threw a coffee at the barista.
Right, yeah.
And I was reading through the comments of what people were saying.
Yeah.
People had his whole psychology worked out. Everyone was saying, oh, typical this, that. Now, I'm not defending the guy at all, but you don't know his story.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So it was sad. It was definitely an awful thing for anyone to have to endure, especially, someone getting paid minimum wage.
Yeah.
You don't get paid. And it hit the person. It wasn't just thrown at them. It actually made contact with them. They didn't get burnt or anything, but still, it's pretty bad. I'd hate that to happen to me. I'd hate that to happen to anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone had this guy worked out.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And who knows what was going through his head. Who knows what kind of person he was. Yeah. But I judged him. I was like, how could you do that?
Yeah.
Thought, he's so entitled or something. And, I don't know, but...
It's human nature, though, isn't it? Like, you do see an incident and you've got to have an opinion on it.
Yeah. And look, it's not right what he did.
No.
But I should certainly try to refrain from thinking that I know everything behind that scene, because I don't.
No.
So, I had to pull back and go, whoa, wait a second. Who are you?
Yeah. Rubbish act, but I don't need to be, I don't need to be working this guy's psyche out.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully he'll work himself out, just as, you did when you kicked that rock.
I hope...
like you felt bad for a week. Hopefully he's gone home and gone, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
This is like rock bottom for me.
Yeah, take away the viral part of it, going online and whatever, because everyone's got a camera now.
Yeah.
But take away that part. Hopefully he felt bad enough to never ever do that again.
Yeah.
Or never to even try and do something like that.
And perhaps apologise.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I actually read this post on the internet. This has been a weird episode. I read this post on the internet, and this guy was saying that he just said, to the people of Melbourne, I apologise. And he just talked about how he carried on like a pork chop one night.
Yeah.
And he said, I've been really down. I had too much to drink. I called up the bar where he ended up in a prison cell.
Yeah.
And then in hospital after that because he hit his head in the jail. And he said, look, I just want to apologise to everyone that I inconvenienced. I rang the bar and tried to apologise to them. I was at a really low point and I just want to let everyone know that, I can understand that. And, he took full accountability for it. And I think the way he handled it kind of redeems him. Now, who knows if it's even true? Like, the guy could just be doing stuff like that just for pure internet points or something.
Yeah.
But the idea of it is that, we do the wrong thing. And it's what happens after that really shows our character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we all make mistakes. We all have accidents. We all react to things. We all do things that we shouldn't do. But once we have that moment of clarity, do we go into some sort of denial and go, oh, well, and it wasn't my fault,
Yeah.
Or do we actually go, hey, you know what? Put my hand up. That was me. I'm really sorry. And I'm going to implement these corrective actions in my life. I think that's a mark of your character, isn't it?
Oh, well, definitely. If you actually mean the apology and then, take the steps afterwards to fix that situation, whatever that situation was, whatever you did. And, that's... I mean, look, it's another episode maybe, or another question is, like an apology. Like, anyone can say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just said it. Does it have meaning? What does that get me off scot-free? Yeah. Like, after I do something stupid, or if I hurt you, I've hurt your feelings physically, mentally, if I hurt you, like, just coming back to you the next day and apologizing. That has to be the start, or...
Yeah.
Like, where is that the end? Like, we talk about people don't want to apologize, but then sometimes people will just throw sorry out there.
Yep. Exactly.
Without any substance behind it.
Well, some internet wisdom that I read was an apology without a change of behavior is just manipulation.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that, internet.
Yes. We have gone way over time.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to confess to so many sins. I'm not the person
really
that
guy.
I want to be. But look, I'm growing and I'm completely human. I'm completely flawed. Well, not completely flawed. No one's completely flawed.
It's a bit harsh, mate.
But look, the main thing is I really want to show that it's important to be humble and to be vulnerable and put it out there that, hey, like, I've got so much to learn. I'm a work in progress. I don't want anyone thinking that I've got anything figured out, because I don't. I'm just a guy from Blacktown.
Honestly, we've all got something to learn, and I guarantee I'll be learning something tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, we all just hope that what we have to learn, we don't do anything stupid to learn that. Like that's, like we've said from this whole get-go, everything we do is a learning experience.
Yeah.
I hope to be still learning by the time I'm an old man.
Yeah. Raise your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
In the words of the wise Jarad Weston, be human.
Be human.
Thanks, Jarad.
Thanks, mate. Bye.